Hey bitch, welcome back to another episode of Alleged Tea, hosted by your girl Taylor-Nicole Limas, otherwise known as Lady Aguilera 2.0 on TikTok. Welcome back, bitch. Are you tired? Are you sad? Are you sad over a man that you had to convince your friends that was cute? Are you crying, nauseous, can't eat, crying and throwing up, sliding against the wall over a man that was probably not even tall enough to reach your top cabinet shelf? Are you losing sleep over a man that probably didn't even wash his asshole when he showered or his feet? Have no fear. Taylor-Nicole Limas is here. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to get over a breakup, how to do a breakup correctly, how to get over a breakup 101. Class is in fucking session, okay? I think we could all say that I'm pretty much professional at this point at going through breakups, going through relationships, situationships, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I'm practically a fucking pro, okay? I don't need to be put in the game. I'm the coach at this point. If you need to see my credentials, please refer back to episodes 1 through 6. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's define the terms though before we even get into this. Okay. I made several TikToks about getting over breakup, how to do a breakup correctly. I've done it so many times. I think I've got it down pack at this point. You know that movie, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? I feel like a scientist at this point. Like I think I'm a scientist. What is a breakup, Taylor? What is defined as a breakup? And I know what you're thinking. Taylor, that is so silly. We all know what a breakup is. No, the fuck you don't, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of people, when they hear breakup, they're like, oh, they must have been dating for anywhere between 8 months to a year. They obviously were seeing each other for a set amount of time. But what we forget about is that in order to experience a breakup, you don't necessarily have to be dating. We've had tons of friends, you and I both know it, where they were seeing a guy for a set amount of time. They were never technically exclusive. They were never technically boyfriend and girlfriend, but this bitch is crying over him like she lost her fucking leg. Let's define what a relationship is in this generation, in this day's age, right? So these are the 3 things you need in order to experience a breakup. You need time, you need an emotional connection, and you need to be fucking delusional, okay? And these 3 things make up what we like to call a situationship, a fling, a fucking friends with benefits, a thing, a sneaky link. Does not matter. But the point is, as long as you have these 3 things, you can still experience a breakup without necessarily being boyfriend and girlfriend. Clip that, send that to your fucking parents, send that to somebody that's just a boomer, and they're going to be mind fucking blown that we've actually managed to stop the evolution of man itself and go backwards in time. Because what the fuck are we doing? This is also otherwise known as the 30, 60, 90 dating rule that I made up myself. Thank you. I made this up myself. There may be other versions of this, but this is my version and this is the version that I made up, okay? So listen up. Put your listening ears on and please keep your thinking caps on tightly. The 30, 60, 90 dating rule is when you go to Ulta or you get like a BoxyCharm or something, you get a trial period essentially of said product, whatever the fuck it is, like hair conditioner or foundation or whatever, and they usually have a 30-day trial period. Sometimes they have a 60-day trial period and sometimes they have a 90-day trial period. But usually at the end of your 30 days, it's either you can extend your trial period for a set amount of time, or you stop the trial altogether, or you buy in, you love the product so much and you end up spending your hard-earned money on this trial period to be a actual fucking thing that you purchase every month, right? And the same thing is with men, okay? Each of them have a trial period when you're in the dating scene, okay? So you could be dating this man for 30 days and decide his trial period is over. I decide I don't like this product. I don't want it. I'm going to return to sender. You could date a man for 60 days, decide it's a trial period, return to sender. 90 days is where the marker is, where it's kind of like, okay, we've been talking for 3 months now. We kind of both need to know like where this is headed. You can extend the trial period for an additional 30 days, and on special occasions, it can be 120, right? After that, you kind of need to define the relationship. DTR, what the fuck is going on type of energy, okay? Because if you guys don't know where the relationship is going after 4 months, you can define yourself as being in a situationship. And these are the things that we're trying to avoid. The reason why the 30, 60, 90 day dating rule is so important in this situation is because when you've been dating somebody for under 90 days, this is when you experience a breakup without necessarily having dated the person. You've gotten to know this person. You guys thought you were going to date. You were seeing each other for 3 months. And then the situationship or whatever ends up ending for whatever fucking reason. And you have all the feelings of a breakup without necessarily having dated the person. When we say buy in, right, for the 30, 60, 90, when you're buying in the trial period, right? The trial period's over and you want to buy in. You really like this person. You really like this product. In this example, we're talking about money, right? But in the actual example of dating, what you're actually spending is emotional currency. You're investing your time and energy into this person. And this is why you're able to experience a breakup without necessarily dating the person. You're getting to know the little things about them. You're hanging out with them all the time. You're now experiencing a routine. You're changing your fucking brain chemistry to the point where you're like expecting a good morning text. You guys hang out every Thursday after work. You guys see each other on the weekends. You plan a Wine Wednesday date. You're getting into a routine with this person. I think I saw somewhere, don't quote me on this, that it takes 28 days to create a routine. If you've been talking to this person for 3 months, you created quite a fucking routine in your brain. It is now forming a habit. Like, you expect a text from this person. You expect to hang out with them on certain days. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's talk about types of relationship breakups. This is how people usually define breakups. They usually define how bad the breakup is by how long you've been seeing the person. So you'll see somebody that was in a 3-month situationship and they're like, oh, she'll get over that so fast. She'll be completely fine. And then you'll see somebody that's been dating somebody for like 5 to 7 years and they were high school sweethearts and they're like, oh my God, this is chemically brain changing. They're going to be fucked up for the rest of their life. She's not going to get over that for 17 fucking years, right? Time is relative, right? Mr. Albert Einstein said that, and he was so right. And I don't think he ever thought that a girl with a podcast called Alleged Tea would be using his fucking quote. But time is relative. It does not matter how much time that you have spent with this person. You could be seeing somebody for 3 months and your heartbreak could be way worse. The breakup could be way worse in the 3-month situationship than it was for your 5-year relationship. And that all depends on your emotional state. Okay? We're building up here. We're getting to something. Where you are at emotionally and mentally equals how devastating the breakup is. Okay? We're doing a little science, little math equation here. But it's a 1000% true. That's why you see a lot of the times, like, for example, even me, right? Like, I was in a 1.5 year relationship with this guy that I thought I was going to marry. We end up breaking up, but I was mentally checked out of that relationship by the end of it, that I wasn't super devastated over the relationship. However, 3 months go by, I'm in a 3-month fucking situationship, and that was like heart-wrenching to get over. Way worse than my actual like ex-boyfriend who I was like living with at the time. Time is relative. Just remember that, okay? So now that we've defined the terms, we define the relationship, we know that time is relative. It doesn't really matter how long you've been with somebody. It matters about your emotional state, okay? That is the most important part. If you're emotionally stable, if your mental health is in check, like where you're at, okay, in the relationship, or how the relationship ended, right? So now that we've defined all the fucking terms, let's talk about the phases of a breakup, and then we'll get into how the fuck we get over it, okay? Phase 1 of the breakup is breakup number 1, or what I like to call the initial breakup. This is when you're blindsided. Whoever broke up with who, whatever the fuck's going on, you are breaking up. You guys have talked about it. You guys agree to it. And whatever it is, you found out he was cheating, he found out you were cheating, whatever the fucking situation is. The point is that you guys broke up. Reality has not set in for either one of you. You guys are both like, okay, yeah, we broke up. You're still in that routine of things. You're still expecting to hear from them. It's not just cold turkey, okay? Think of it like a nicotine addiction. You can't just, okay, we're broken up, okay, bye, that's it. Like, no. That's not how it works, okay? During this phase 1, you have 1 to 2 weeks to figure your shit out. And by that, I mean, you get it all out of your system. You leave no stone unturned. You ask all the questions. You return the belongings. Because just know, after this 2 weeks, you are going no contact. Like, that's what's happening. That's what phase 2 is. Phase 2 is no contact. So just know, whatever you need to get out of your system, do it in the 1 to 2 weeks. If you need to yell at him, if you need to get angry, if you need to fucking text his friends and text his mom that his son's a piece of shit, whatever the fuck it is, get it out of your system. Because after this 2 weeks is up, you're done. There's no contacting him. There's no crying to him. No, it does not matter. You are not speaking to him. So if you need to get really upset and cry to him, this is when you're sending the paragraphs. This is when you're fucking bawling your eyes out. This is when you're confessing your love to him. This is when he's confessing his love to you. really fucking dramatic, and it's really necessary to the process. So just do it and get it out of the way. You have 1 to 2 weeks to do this. Some people, they only need a couple days. Other people need 2 weeks to do it. But 2 weeks tops, okay? And once you get past 14 days, it's like, okay, you're fucking pushing it. This also includes drunk calling him when you're out with your friends and you think that you're fucking over it and you're not, and you call him up crying, okay? This is also when, if you wanted to decide to tell him, hey, actually, you're fucking ugly as shit, and I needed to fucking tell you that because all my friends told me that you were ugly, and I had to convince myself that you weren't ugly, and I dated you anyways, and you are a piece of shit. I just want to tell you that. Whatever you need to do to process that beginning stages of those feelings, do it. Get out of your system. Ask all the questions. Look for all the closure that you need right up until you feel like, and there's a specific feeling that you're going to feel where you feel like there is nothing he can say or do to make you feel better. There is nothing there's no questions that you can ask him. There's no conversation that needs to be had. It's literally, you feel empty. You're like, there's nothing I could possibly ask him or say to him or him say to me, or conversation that we can have that is going to make me feel better. There is no point in any more conversation. That's the point you need to get to. Because if you try to do this too early, where you're like, okay, I think I'm over it, I don't need to ask him anything, I'm on my boss girl shit, I'm just going to be like on a bad bitch fucking moment, what's going to end up happening is during phase 2, you're going to break no contact, and you're going to get caught in the cycle, which a lot of people get caught in, is between phase 1 and phase 2, where they break the no contact, they start talking again, and then all of a sudden they're in this weird situation where they're being strung along by their ex. They didn't get over their ex. They're not over their ex. They're friends with their ex. Like, it's a weird situation, and you don't need to be there. You just need to cut it off completely. Phase 2 is the hard part, okay? And phase 2 is what I like to call breakup number 2, or AKA the real breakup. So this is after the 2 weeks of the back and forth bullshit. And this is when you start the no contact. The no contact is a minimum of 30 days. That does not mean that after 30 days that, oh my God, I made it to 30 days, now I can talk to him if I feel like it. That's not the point of it, okay? The point of it is to keep your goals small, so you're not thinking to yourself when you're going through this process like, oh my God, I'm never going to talk to him again. No. Your goal is try to get through the month, okay? Because during phase 2, you are at one of your most vulnerable states that you could ever possibly imagine. Do you ever wonder why, when a girl is going through a breakup and she posts about it on social media, that tons of guys are in her DMs? Why do you think that is? Do you think that it's because she's the hottest bitch on the planet, or do you think it's because men can smell vulnerability from a fucking mile away? They can literally smell the fact, oh, this bad bitch is in a weakened state, and I could totally bag this bitch right now. Because if she was in her right mind and she was stable and secure, she wouldn't even bat a fucking eyelash at me. That's exactly why. So you're in a very weakened, vulnerable state. The 30 days of no contact, you're going to distract yourself. You're going to be unhinged and batshit fucking crazy. And this is all part of the process. This is only going to last 1 to 2 months, 30 to 60 days. You're going to be unhinged. You're going to be batshit fucking crazy. You're going to party. You're going to drink with your friends. You're going to go out dancing. You're going to go out to restaurants you've never been to before. You're going to drink a martini. You're going to be doing hella fucking tequila shots. You're going to surround yourself with community and friends and family. Okay, this is super important. This does not mean wild and crazy person is going to come out and fucking do something reckless and unforgivable. This means you're going out to have fun. Safe, healthy fun. That does not mean go out have unprotected sex and get an STD or get pregnant. It just means go out, have safe fun. Okay, that's what that means. During phase 2, what you're trying to do with the minimum of 30 days of no contact is you're trying to break the cycle. Okay, I read somewhere, I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I believe it. It takes 28 days to create a habit. That's what they say, or whatever. I don't know. Google it. It could be longer than that. Basically, if you've been talking to this person for 3 months, your body, your mind, your brain is in a routine, right? So you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to look at your phone. You're not going to see a good morning text. It's going to be 9 o'clock. You're going to check your phone. You're not going to see a good night text. You know, if every Wednesday after work you guys had a wine night, you're going to kind of be expecting that, and you're going to feel that missing void, okay? And this is going to make you sad, okay? This is when you need to pick up different hobbies and different things. And this is when you also need to not pick up new bad habits, okay? So for example, say every morning you're used to a long good morning text from said person. That was like your guys' fucking thing or whatever. You need to wake up and you need to not check your phone. You need to do something else. You need to break that habit. Wake up, do something else. Wake up, go wash your face. Wake up, drink a glass of water. Wake up, do a lap around your fucking kitchen counter. I don't care what it is, but you need to not do the thing that you did before when you were with that person, okay? That's one. Creating new bad habits. That means you do not wake up in the morning or throughout your day start creeping on this person's social media. By no means, during phase 2, should you be creeping on their social media. You're going to fold. It's going to happen. You're going to do it a couple times, but make sure to catch yourself and to not keep doing it, because all you're doing is hurting yourself, and all you're going to end up doing is sending yourself down an emotional spiral. View how you feel after and during you are creeping on their social media page. You feel this, like in the beginning, right when you search their name, you feel giddy, you feel excited. Oh my God, let's see what they're doing. And then you're watching their Instagram story, or you're watching their Snapchat story, and then you see a girl's shoe, or you see him out at a restaurant that you guys were supposed to go to, or you see him at a restaurant that you guys used to go to all the time, but he's with a girl or he's with his friends. All of a sudden your anxiety peaks. You don't feel good anymore. It's not fun to keep looking. And now you're searching on her page and you're trying to figure out who she is. And now you're down like in an hour and a half fucking spiral of trying to figure out what the fuck he's doing. And you've just consumed an hour of your time consumed with this man that is no longer in your life anymore. You're wasting time at that point. It does not make you feel good. There is no good outcome. There's no benefit from doing that. Okay. 3 months time, you want to check in on him, see what the fuck he's doing. Fine, whatever. But during the 30 days after the breakup number 2 or the real breakup, you should not be creeping on their social media. Okay. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is by zero means should you be posting anything to signal to them that it's for them, okay? And this is what I mean by that. And you already know what I'm talking about before I even fucking say it, because we're all guilty of this. I mean, no quotes that say, it was my forever, but forever doesn't last forever sometimes. Or stupid shit like that, okay? No quotes. That's one. No posting you out and partying. Like, say you normally don't go out and party, now all of a sudden you're posting you going out and partying. Now, that doesn't mean if you're going out and you're having a good time and you're posting it for you, you go right ahead, baby girl. If you don't normally party and you're going out and partying and you're having a good time and you want to post it, you go right ahead. But what I mean is, if your intention behind the post is to make him jealous, you're no longer moving for you, you're moving for him. You're still stuck in a cycle. Okay, we're trying to break the cycle. That's the whole point of this. Now, if you're posting for you, the only person that knows is you, right? And then maybe your best friend will clock it. Like, bitch, I see what the fuck you're doing, right? But only you know what you're doing. And you're only going to prolong the feeling and the breakup feeling if you keep acting and moving for him, to make him jealous, to get him to care, to get him to see something. But if you post something for you, then who the fuck cares what he thinks? You might do something for you. You might post something on your social media and be like, oh, he's going to think this. Who gives a fuck what he thinks? You post things for you, you move for you, and that's how you put yourself first. You are now making yourself a priority. And the hardest part of phase 2 is moving from a relationship, partnership, dynamic, and mentality to moving from a single person dynamic and mentality. You are now moving from a partnership to from a team to a one-man team. You're putting yourself first. Who gives a fuck about what the fuck he's doing, how the fuck he cares, how the fuck he feels? That's phase 2, okay? And the most important part of phase 2 is to not break the no contact. That is the most important part. After the 30 days, you're going to go, oh, I could do another 30 days. Oh, I could do another 30 days. The point is to keep the goals small so you don't feel like there's so much weighing on you. Because when you start thinking in like big chunks of time, like, we were supposed to get married. We were supposed to go on this trip together. We had plans this September. Or we had plans to go somewhere in the wintertime. You're going to overwhelm yourself. So we got to keep our goals small during this vulnerable stage. We just got to get through 30 days. We just got to get through the end of the month. And then when you get through the end of the month, then you're like, oh, we just got to get through one more month, okay? And it makes it a lot more doable and a lot more easy to achieve during this time. During this 1 to 2 months of phase 2, this person may text you. They might try to reel you back in, okay? They might post something to get your attention, and your friends hear about it, and they contact you about it, and it gets you all riled up. And you have to have the willpower of a god, okay? You need to have the willpower of a saint, okay? To not contact this person. They may even text you and say, I still think about you. I miss you. It should have been us in the end. They're going to pull at your heartstring. You know what this is doing, okay? This is opening the door. If you respond, if you break no contact and you respond, this is opening the door for somebody to spin the block on you. If you break no contact and you fold on this person, whoever it may be, they now, in their minds, view you as weaker. They now view you in their minds as, oh, this door will never be permanently closed because I'm the one that got away, or I'm her person, or whatever the fuck they think. They now think that they have the key to your door and they can open and close it whenever the fuck they want. The only way you keep that from not happening is not breaking no contact, okay? It's completely different. It's completely different when you hear stories of like a couple broke up and then years down the line, they ran into each other and then they rekindled. That's different than going no contact, breaking no contact, and then doing this back and forth bullshit where you guys are on again, off again. This is how you reel yourself in. You demote yourself from girlfriend to situationship while he fucks around, talks to whoever else. We are not breaking no contact, okay? This is 2023. We're about to be in 2024. We're not breaking the no contact rule. Cue phase 3. You're done partying. You've hung out with your friends enough. You talked about the situation a million times. You're done with your villain era. You're done having fun. You just want to sit at home and watch a movie. You just want to sit at home, read a book, do your skincare routine, and just relax. This is when the dust settles. This is when all the noise quiets down. The hype of the breakup isn't there anymore. The like high peaks of emotional state are not there anymore, because in phase 2, your emotions are so up and down. That's why it's so important to not contact the person during that time, because one day you could wake up and be crying, miss the person. You want to be with them so badly. You can't believe that this is your life, that this happened. And then 2 days from that time, you could be like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm feeling good today. Like, why would I even want to contact this person? And then 2 days from then, you could be like, why was I even ever dating that person? And then 2 days from then, you could be crying again. Your emotions are so up and down during that time that it's going to be really difficult for you to make permanent decisions. So it's just best to not contact that person at all. Phase 3 is when the noise settles, everything's quiet, reality sets in, you guys are not getting back together. You're going to be experiencing 2 very strong emotions. They can flip-flop, they could be one, they could be the other, they could be both. That's anger and mourning the loss of the relationship, mourning the loss of the person no longer being in your life. And this is usually when we see the kickstart of the revenge body. It's not, you don't just have a revenge body. This is when you start it, when you're like, you know what, I'm going to hit the gym. Fuck him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Just revenge in general. Like, you're just going to do better than that person, right? So now you have this momentum of like, okay, I want to like change something about myself. This is usually when we see the hair dyeing or the haircuts or whatever. Trust me, bitch, I've done it all. I literally chopped my hair. I'm not even joking. I think I chopped like 10 to 12 inches off my hair into a bob, okay, and then bleached it platinum blonde. We've all been there. I forgot to mention, you're going to want to either at phase 3 or phase 1 or phase 2, it doesn't matter what phase it is, but usually it's best to do it when your emotions are heightened. So probably around phase 2 is when you're going to want to write everything you're feeling. Your delusions, your thought process, how you feel, how you're angry, how you're upset. Write, it could be 3 pages, it could be 6 pages, it could be a novel, okay? The point is to write it all down. How you're feeling, where you're at, everything, okay? Because by phase 4, you're going to read this back to yourself and you're going to be shocked at how you felt and where you were at mentally and where you're at now. And you don't really realize where you're at mentally until you write it down. You start to heal so slowly that you don't necessarily see it. You just wake up one day and the pain hurts a lot less. You remember that person. You remember all the good times. You remember the heartbreak. You remember everything. You just wake up one day and it's just kind of not there anymore. And you're not really thinking about them as much. Phase 3 would be the start of your healing journey. The start of you mending your heart, picking up the pieces. And this is a very lonely journey. You're not really getting into the momentum of it. Phase 3 is mostly just about processing your feelings. You're kind of feeling them. You're feeling everything out. Now you're alone with everything. There's no more distractions. There's no more numbing out. Now you're really starting to feel the effects of the relationship ending. And then we have phase 4, which is healing, reading, self-care, gym. And this is really when you start to come into yourself. During any point in time, if you want to contact this person, if you want to text them, before you make that rash decision that you can't take back after you fucking send that text, send it to yourself. Type your own phone number in the iMessage, type up the text that you want to send so badly, send it to yourself, wait 2 to 3 hours, read it again. Do you really want to send that fucking text? It's best to wait an entire day, but if you're an impatient bitch like me, 2 to 3 hours minimum. Because 9 out of 10 times you'll find that you're just at a really heightened emotional state. Something triggered you, you want to say something to him or to that person, but you don't actually want to talk to that person. You don't actually want to go through with it. It's just at that moment you do. If sending the text doesn't work, journaling is a huge, huge thing, okay? And listen to me, okay? When I was going through my first couple breakups, I was like, that's so fucking stupid. What the fuck I look like writing in a journal how the fuck I feel? Like, what is that going to do? How is that going to process anything? But what it does is it purges the shit that's inside of you. And on top of that, it doesn't bog down your fucking friends. You're not hitting up your friends every 5 seconds like, oh my God, I got into the car and the seatbelt fucking smelled like him and now I'm having emotional fucking breakdown. Bitch, write it down. And honestly, not only that, but you'll have a log of your mental state throughout the breakup. It will be a beautiful thing by the end of this to see where your mental state will be at by the end of this and how much your mental state has changed by the end of the breakup, okay? One of my favorite things that I like to do during a breakup is to write a letter to that person. I write 2 letters, okay? In the beginning stages of the breakup, which would be between phases 1 to 3, okay? I'll write a letter to that person. Angry. Everything I want to say. Get it off my chest. You fucking piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Like, I can't believe you did this to me, blah, 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 whatever. Write the whole thing. Sign my name as if I'm actually going to send it. Put it in an envelope. Cast it away in one of my drawers. Okay? Never actually send it. And then by phase 4, which is your healing journey, this is when you're healing, picking up new routines, you're doing new things, you're picking up new hobbies. This is when you want to write the second letter. And that's forgiving that person for whatever the fuck they did. Even if they did nothing. Thanking them for the relationship, thanking them for the happy times, for things that they taught you, for things that are now a part of you that were once a part of them. And it's going to be a very difficult thing. And you might have a lot of anger still built up in you. But it's best to release that to move on, okay? A lot of people get stuck on letting go of a relationship because they can't get past the point of like, it was supposed to be us, or I can't believe this person did this to me, or like, you broke me, or you knew all these things about me and you still chose to do this to me. If you write this letter, you can really completely, not entirely, because this is not 100% proof, but you can definitely let go of the feelings inside yourself and free yourself from the pain and the anger and everything, because that's the point of all this. The point isn't, oh, how come I gotta forgive him? Forgiving somebody, moving past something, has nothing to do with the other person. It does not benefit the other person. It benefits you. So when you forgive somebody and you release something that happened to you in the past or whatever's going on, it will only benefit you. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you have to wait till phase 4 to do that, or you have to wait, or maybe you are ready and you could do it in phase 2. You're like, yeah, you know what? I want to release this now. I want to get this over with. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get over the situation any quicker, but it does help and aid the process when you're going through a breakup. Now, this is controversial. This is a controversial take. I choose to delete everything off my phone that is associated with that person. Pictures, videos, everything. Like, I just delete it all. If you have like copies of photos, I keep some of them, but personally for me, I feel like once me and this person are done and over with, there's no reason for me to keep photos or any like memorabilia of that person. You can, but I find for me, it makes it easier for me to get over the situation, because if I keep the things, if I keep the pictures on my phone, I find myself then going back and reminiscing and ending up hurting my feelings further. And the goal is to not hurt my own feelings, right? You're putting yourself first. When you're going through any of these phases, honestly, any of these phases, you want to pick up a new hobby. This is a really, really important thing throughout this whole process. Is the goal is to put yourself first. And the reason why I say new hobby, because it could be anything, but you have to do something that is for you, that you're genuinely interested in, and that you want to do that thing, and it has nothing associated with the other person. So like, say for example that you guys would paint together. You don't want painting to be your hobby now, okay? Because now you're going to be sad every time you're fucking painting. Now the gym is a little bit tricky one, because I know a lot of couples that go to the gym together, right? But the gym, the reason why so many heartbroken people go to the gym is because it aids in so many things. One, you will feel accomplished after you do it. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to fucking lift weights. You don't have to know how to do anything. All you gotta do is walk on the treadmill for 45 minutes, okay? You accomplished something that day. You got yourself out of bed, especially if you're upset and you're tired and you can't sleep and you can't eat. Going to the gym will aid in that. You accomplish something. It makes you feel good. You'll get your mind off of it for a little bit, and you'll lose some weight in the process, okay? But let's just say, fuck the gym. You don't want to go to the gym. Start knitting. Join a pottery class. Do yoga. Pick up a hobby. Start writing. Read a book. You're all of a sudden a reader. You need to pick up a hobby that becomes yours and only yours to aid in this process. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to pick up a hobby, especially during phase 2 when you're going no contact. Because when you're sitting there thinking about the situation, you need to distract yourself. And that's something that I don't think I mentioned in phase 2, is that when you're sitting there thinking about this person, right, you're trying to break the cycle of your thought process. So when you're sitting there, so say you go to watch Netflix and your stomach's turning and you're thinking about them. You're like, oh, what if he's watching Netflix with another girl? Get up and do something else. Get up and go do the dishes. Get up and go wash your face. Get up and start cleaning off your vanity. You need to rewire your brain to every time you have a thought about him, you think about something else. You do something else. Because if you sit there and wallow in those thoughts, you're going to be crying. You're going to have anxiety. All of a sudden now you're going down a rabbit hole of what ifs. What if you got married? What if you guys ended up together? What if? And none of it's real. Okay, we need to base ourselves in this reality, in this present moment, and not sit there and think about the past or the future. Okay, we got to be present in the moment. And the best way to be present and in the moment is to do an activity. When you start thinking about them, get up and go to the gym. I will never forget one of my really, 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 really hard breakups that I don't talk about at all is, I was in a really bad mental state, like terrible, terrible mental state. And I couldn't sleep. I think I went 3 or 4 days without sleeping. I just was up. Like for the life of me, could not sleep. I was taking NyQuil. It wasn't helping me. And so I was like, you know what? And it was causing me to be like a little bit fucking delusional. Like when you don't sleep for 72 hours, you feel crazy. Okay. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to tire myself out so I can get some fucking sleep. I was just so mentally exhausted and I knew I needed sleep, but I couldn't get it, that I ended up going to the gym, going on the bike. I switched from the bike to the treadmill, for like 3 hours. I was just sitting on the bike. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but I was just sitting on the bike, pedaling. Then I would switch and go on the treadmill and just walk. I'm just walking. Like I wasn't running by any means, but I was just sitting there. And then I think by the 3rd hour, I was like, wow, I'm really fucking tired. I wore my body out to the point where I was like, okay, I'm finally fucking tired. And I finally got some sleep that night. And that started like my routine at the gym. I was like, okay, well, if I'm not going to be able to sleep, I'm going to just fucking go to the gym. So it would be like 1, 2 in the morning. I'm going to the gym. And that's why they always say like the heartbreaker's hour is usually between the hours between midnight and like 2 in the morning is when people go to the gym. It's because they can't sleep because they're fucking heartbroken. So they go to the gym. And that's why you see a lot of the revenge body, because it works, bitch. Why do you think that there's a thing called the revenge body? Is because people break up with people and they have all this time on their hands and they have all these thoughts in their mind and they're trying to get rid of them. And then what's the best way to do that? Fucking move your body. You don't have to go to the gym. The gym doesn't have to be the thing that you have to do. Journaling and writing down your thought process is probably one of the most important parts of this entire thing. And the last part of all of this that you need to do is do something a little bit toxic. Okay? You don't have to do something crazy, but if you have his sweater, burn it. If you have his fucking t-shirt, his favorite t-shirt, cut it up. Do something that makes you feel good about the situation, okay? Take one of the letters you wrote, throw it in a fire. Take one of the letters you wrote, tie it to a balloon and let it go. Like, do something that makes you feel good about the situation, okay? Remember that everybody goes through breakups. It's a part of life. It's not the end of the world. You break up, you meet somebody else, and you keep it moving. One thing I will say, as many breakups as I have gone through, is that I have never, ever, ever experienced a breakup and my life didn't get better after the breakup. I've never had that happen to me before. There was always a positive that came out of any breakup that I've ever had. That's something that you can also do too. I've done it myself, is maybe 3 months after your breakup, write down all the positive things that have changed in your life since you broke up with that person. And it just shifts your perspective to this positive mentality of, actually, this was a positive thing that happened to me, not a negative mentality. Because I feel like a lot of the times when people go through breakups, they have this like victim mentality, like, poor me, this happened to me. When it's like, this didn't happen to you, this happened for you. And a lot of the times our relationships are holding us back in ways that we don't realize until we end the relationship and we skyrocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times you're not doing things, you're changing your dynamic or the way that you are because you want to appease this person or you want to impress this person or they don't like doing that thing. So let's just say you wanted to go to this music store and you wanted to pick out a guitar and this person doesn't really want to do that. But if you were on your own, you would have walked right in there and bought a guitar and you could have been on your way to a music career. But you didn't do that because you wanted to appease this person. After phase 4, though, I do want to mention that healing journey will bring this period of solitude and isolation. You feel isolated, you're by yourself because only you know the dynamic that you and that person had in the relationship. Nobody else knows it. And you kind of sit there and you're processing all these things. And there's happy moments and there's sad moments and there's arguments. And you basically are walking through the entire relationship all over again and kind of analyzing it from a different point of view because your emotional state is now not so invested in it anymore. So you can kind of see things for what they are. The rose-colored glasses are off. You're not so in love with the person anymore. And you can see the situation for what it was. After you're kind of done analyzing the situation, comes a period of solitude. Let's just say it's been 6 months post breakup. You kind of feel like you're ready to get back into the dating scene, but you're not really sure because you don't know if you healed yet. Don't confuse solitude and isolation with healing. I made that mistake for a very long time. I stayed single for about 3 years after a breakup because I thought that I was healing. And you actually do a lot of your healings in relationships. It's kind of backwards because a lot of people will say something like, oh, make sure you're healed before you're in a relationship. But you don't realize how you can't heal relationship dynamics without being in a relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? So for example, if you have trust issues, you can only heal yourself internally on your own so much before you need to practice healing parts of the relationship dynamic in a relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're not going to experience relationship triggers or trust triggers in a relationship until you're in one. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't get the chance to practice that and change that dynamic until you're in a relationship. I think for me, at least, I thought for a very long time that being alone and in solitude meant that I was healing. And you can be alone for 5 or 10 years. But if you're not doing work, if you're not working on yourself and trying to better yourself, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're healing. You have to really take a deep introspection on who you are as a person and what you want out of a relationship. Take just everything as a learning experience. Just because one thing didn't work out doesn't mean that the next thing won't be better. Honestly, I always love that saying where it's like, you don't know how close you are to something, so just keep going. You could be two people closer to the love of your life or your soulmate. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't experience this breakup and you weren't learning and you weren't meeting new people. So you really honestly don't know how close you are to something. So you just got to keep going. But remember, this is all alleged. It's all alleged, baby. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Alleged Tea. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on next week's episode of Alleged Tea, where we spill some sorority. But remember, it's all alleged, baby. Love you.